There is a cocoa farm in Osun State that villagers refuse to enter after sunset. Not because of animals, not because of thieves, but because people believe the farm cries at night. This story was shared with me by a young woman named Amara who experienced something inside that cocoa farm that changed her life forever. And what she told me still doesn't sit right in my mind. Amara was a quiet girl born into poverty in a small village in Osun State. Her skin was fair, smooth, almost glowing in a way that made people stay twice. Not the kind of beauty that brought comfort, but the kind that brought attention she never asked for. Her father died when she was 13 and everything collapsed after that. School stopped. Food becomes a problem. Survival replaced dreams. Her mother began selling roasted corn by the roadside, while Amara worked on people's farm just to keep the family alive. Everyone in the village knew them as the suffering family near the river. But Amara had one problem she never understood at the time. She was too beautiful for her environment. And in the village like that, beauty is never harmless. It was Mrs. Adewale who first noticed her. Mrs. Adewale owns the largest cocoa farm in that region, a massive estate hidden deep behind thick forestry. People call it Cocoa Land. It was so large that once you entered too far, you could lost your way before sunset. And the owner herself was a mystery wrapped in fear. Mrs. Adewale was a wealthy widow in her late 50s, always dressed in expensive wrappers, gold jewelries, dark sunglasses, even under cloudy skies. Her voice was soft, almost gentle, but nobody ever relaxed around her. Even grown men lowered their voices when speaking to her. People said strange things about her farm. Some said workers disappeared. Some said girls who entered never remained the same. Some said at night the tree made sounds like crying, but nobody could prove anything because poverty made people silent. One afternoon, Amara's mother returned home excited. "Amara, you will be working as Mrs. Adewale Coco's farm. She said she needs young hands." Amara didn't hesitate. There was no luxury or fear in her life, only survival. The next morning, Mrs. Adewale came personally to see her. The moment her eyes landed on Amara, something shifted in her expression. She smiled too slowly, too intentionally, and when she touched Amara's cheeks, her finger lingered longer than normal. "Can you keep secret?" she asked softly. Amara laughed nervously. Mrs. Adewale didn't. 3 days later, Amara moved into a cocoa land, and that was when everything changed. The farm was not normal. Workers avoided eye contact. Nobody spoke freely. Even laughter felt forbidden. There was an old woman there. Everyone called her Mama Truth. She carries firewood everywhere and spoke in warnings instead of greetings. "Do not enter the inner farm at night. If you hear your name called after midnight, do not answer. And if you hear crying inside the cocoa trees, do not look back." Amara thought the woman was just simply paranoid until the first disappearance. A girl named Abigail vanished overnight. No explanation, no panic, no search. The next morning, life continued as if nothing had happened. That was when fear became real. After that, Amara started noticing patterns. Girl who walked closer to Mrs. Adewale began changing. Headaches, nightmares, silence, then emotional emptiness, like something inside them had been switched off. One evening, Mama Truth finally broke her silence. Years ago, Mrs. Adewale lost her husband and her only son in a car accident. After that, she changed completely. She began traveling into deep forests, visiting unknown spiritual men. Then her wealth multiplied, but so did the disappearances. And something even stranger, Mrs. Adewale was not aging like a normal human being. Amara wanted to leave immediately, but Cocoa Land was not a place you simply walk away from. Mrs. Adewale ensured everyone was trapped in one way or the other. She paid families in advance, cleared debts, brought silence with money. Even parents who suspected something refused to ask questions. One night, Amara woke up very thirsty. The entire farm was silent, too silent. She stepped outside to fetch water. That was when she saw a faint red glow deep inside cocoa forest. Curiosity pulled her in slowly. The deeper she went, the colder the air became. Then she heard chanting, soft at first, then clearer. When she reached the clearing, she froze completely. Women in white wrappers were standing in a circle. Candles surrounded them. And in the center of the circle, there was blood on the ground. Mrs. Adewale stood there praying, and beside her, Abigail knelt, completely unresponsive, like she was no longer fully presented in her own body. Then Mrs. Adewale turned her head slowly and smiled directly at Amara. Not a normal smile, a knowing smile, like she had been waiting. The next morning, Mrs. Adewale called Amara privately. "Curiosity kills faster than hunger here," she said calmly. From that moment, the atmosphere changed. The girl stopped talking to her. Food began smelling strange. Whispers followed her at night, And one morning, she woke up with strange head prints on her stomach. That was when she knew she had to leave. Mama Truth helped her secretly. On a rainy night, they escaped through the back plantains. But the moment they crossed the fence, voices erupted behind them. Flashlights, dogs barking, people shouting her name. Mama Truth pushed her forward and screamed, "Run!" and never looked back. Amara ran until her legs gave up. She collapsed near a highway where a truck driver found her and took her to Ibadan. But in the city, peace never returned. At night, she still hears whispers calling her name through the wind. Years later, she discovered something even worse. Girls who once worked at Coco Land were either missing, mentally broken, or dead. No investigation ever succeeded because Mrs. Adewale had power connection. And the farm still exists, still operating, still taking new young girls every year. And according to Amara, if you pass through that cocoa farm after midnight, you can still hear women crying inside the trees. Like the land itself is still remembering what it has consumed.